So it's
We
not
are
all over
now
the.
live. Yep. Welcome to another episode of What Were They Thinking podcast. I'm your host, Bernard, with my co host, Jeremy. And today we got a bunch of different things that have happened in the news
Mm.
that over the past week that really give us a head scratching moment for what people were thinking.
Few head scratching moments.
Yep. Few.
Yeah.
And uh, and I would say the following. Oh boy, it's becoming more than just politics with this show.
Mm. I thought you were going to
Um,
start saying it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas there for a second, but
I don't know. Santa Claus might be the more of the what's the word I'm looking for? The one with a rational mind at this point.
I
Give
mean,
out little gifts of good girls and boys.
have they tariffed the North Pole yet? I mean, I'm sure it's coming.
No,
You
I'm
know,
sure it's coming.
yeah.
But a 0%, but the
Although,
things are they're coming in for free. So a 0% of 100 on a $0 item is how much?
I mean, but they're going to get a lot of coal for powering some old,
Yeah,
old.
but that's all coming in for free.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
that
good. It'll.
means so you take it's a multiplication problem, right?
Mm.
So what's 0 times 100%?
Well, see,
Zero.
but that doesn't matter because remember he's lowering drug prices by like 500%, 700%,
Yep.
1,000%. So
Yeah.
eh, numbers
Yeah.
with this administration, who needs them?
Who needs them? Yeah.
Eh,
Well, I guess the first thing we probably should talk about is something that you brought. What's because of what? Let's talk about the media and social media.
mm, okay,
So,
okay,
all right. So let's talk about the. Uh, thank you.
yep,
So, the social media front, you would saw a story come across.
hmm,
Um, I state of Michigan has banned VPNs at some level.
mm,
That's another story in itself from a few weeks back. But this is what the Trump administration is doing something now with looking
yeah,
at people's social media before they let them into the country.
yeah. Basically, they're proposing that they're requiring visitors from visa waiver countries like Canada and some from Europe to submit 5 years of their social media history before they're allowed to enter the U.S. What? What? Like, what's the benefit? Is there a security benefit from this? Is there an economic benefit? Like, what? I don't understand why they need
I
5 years. So, like,
Why
for
not
what?
7 years, like your taxes?
Yeah,
You know.
but
Uh,
it's
okay, so
privacy. It comes down to privacy. Why does the government need to see it? Aren't you allowed privacy and protections in this country? Isn't that the whole?
well, I would say the following. Okay, so social media is that people say, oh, there's a privacy concern, right? But my thought process is, and maybe I'm wrong, but is that once it goes on the internet anywhere, like outside of your control of your computer system,
Hmm,
it's out there. Okay,
right. There's ways to find it.
it's
Yeah,
there's ways to find it. It's a question of how hard is the person willing to work on to get that um,
information. Yeah.
information. Okay, so and even with the privacy settings on Facebook and or whatever platform you're using, Twitter or something like that, the assumption I've always had is once it's out there, it's out there. Once it
Yeah.
leaves your computer system, it's ripe for being taken up, taking. Um, and so I guess what I would say is that there's more of a consequences here of okay, you have to provide this information. Who's going to review it? How long is it going to take to review it? And I would also probably say this might tie into like, is this if it's from attorney-client privileges messages, between clients and the attorney? Now, do you have to turn that over? You know,
Yeah.
is it is it
Where is it
spousal
going?
where if it's a private chat between you and your spouse that's on Facebook Messenger or an internal chat app, does that qualify? I don't think they really thought this through.
Yeah, and I still don't understand what are you going to get from it? Are you going to like anyone can make a social media profile. It's not like it can be
And
completely
how do you,
fake, as we found from the MAGA accounts when Twitter decided to post where all these accounts are posting from.
right?
Like,
And
what does it
and then the
matter if
other,
you're getting 5 years of someone's social media history?
and
I don't
who
get it.
controls that? And how do you verify that they actually control that account?
Exactly. Like,
You know,
anybody could
it's
make
just
one.
right. I can make up a account right now and say I'm the president of the United States,
Yeah.
or the emperor of the United States. There was one at one point. Somebody declared himself as emperor. He was out in California, and I think it was during the gold rush time period, if I recall correctly. And jokingly, everybody respected him as being the emperor of the United States.
Okay.
And that was before social media. So, okay.
Yeah, I just don't understand. And then, how much is it going to cost us now to review all these people's social media for 5 years of their social media?
Are they going to feed it into an AI system that they're going to buy from the tech companies that are, heavily in?
I mean,
And
could be,
I,
but you're going to
I
have
don't
people
know.
monitoring that, because it's not infallible. So,
But they basically gutted the federal workforce
right.
through the last government shutdown and firing people through the Doge thing. And then they said Doge isn't dead yet. I'm like, okay, so you're still planning on trying to eliminate things? I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, like, who's throwing this into his ear that they're like, we need to scour people's social media. Like, are they looking for stuff specifically to try to,
I wouldn't
like,
be. Is it Mr. Miller again? Scary Mr. Miller.
I don't know. Just another reason
Like,
to deny someone, probably, is what it comes down to.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's like, and then they were also talking about, oh, you can only have one citizenship in the United States, and if you have another citizenship in another country, you're going to have to denounce it. I'm like,
Gotta love it.
what are they thinking at this point? I know it's a cliche at this point, but I just don't understand why they are
Yeah.
so insistent on doing this, because
It makes
personally,
no sense.
it makes no sense. So you're going to waste all this time and
Yeah.
money to try to go through all this stuff. I guess they're going to try to say, oh, we can increase the cost of the visa to justify all this extra
He
time
already
and
did
money.
that with his gold card. I mean,
right. This is really an extension of the gold card, and then people are already here. So are you going to try to make them,
right? You're gonna go through everyone who's on a visa here, go through their social media for the last 5 years,
and then there's a question of the First Amendment issue.
right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, what does it matter what you're posting on there? You're allowed to post what you want. It's freedom of speech. Wasn't that the whole, like, why Musk bought X and why
Right.
Trump started his own social media platform? Because they weren't allowing him to say whatever he wanted on social media.
And then that goes back to a section that goes back to federal law about how private companies can regulate their own platforms.
Yeah.
And without consequences of legal lawsuits.
Yeah.
The problem is that what most people fail to understand is that these companies that own these platforms are not they're private companies. They're not public squares of information like
Exactly.
on your town green that's physically located in your town.
They have their own rules
owned by the town.
Yeah.
It's owned by the town
Mhm.
or the state or the city or the federal government. It's like why you can do protests on postal property and not really have that much of a problem unless you're interfering with their actual operations,
Right.
which is basically inside the building or not allowing postal workers to exit the property or something like that.
Yeah,
or
or
conduct
people
business.
to the park and get in, yeah.
Right. But that's another whole rigmarole that
it's going to open this up if they try to enforce that. They're going to open up a big First Amendment deal with it. And
unfortunately, I don't think this administration really cares about
that's true.
How many legal problems they have. Because they keep on like trying to prosecute Comey and James, even though they've been tossed aside with the court rulings basically saying get Lindsay Halligan out of here. she's not even a prosecutor. What the hell is going on there?
Mhm.
You know, type of situation. Um, I know that kind of is a little bit of a side tangent there, but it also is showing how this Trump administration just does not care.
Mm.
It really does not care how much legal problems they create for themselves. But at the end of the day, they've been basically firing the entire Department of Justice line prosecutors and defense and lawyers, or they've been quitting. So there is literally nobody to defend these lawsuits. They're literally having to pull people from all across the country from different district from the district
Yep.
district offices to prop up these cases. So then the better question is, what's actually happening to the real criminals?
I mean, yeah, and that goes into another topic we have with all these different judges and all this stuff going on. They're clogging up the system. I mean, one of the things they had to do with the system is all this National Guard deployment.
Right.
And we just had a district judge that blocked the Trump administration from deploying California National Guard to Los Angeles,
Right. That
and
was
ordered that control back to Newsom.
right.
And
That was what's his name there?
I forget the judge.
He's a brother to the former Supreme Court justice there.
Okay.
I think it's Scalia.
Mm.
No, not Scalia. Gosh, it will come to me in a moment.
We're on the next segment. It'll come to you.
Yeah, it will come to me. Kennedy. I think it's Justice Kennedy.
Okay.
No. Well, okay, this is really bothering me now.
But I mean, why?
This
this was pretty obvious when he deployed that it was going to be illegal. I don't know why they even thought. Why try to deploy the Guard without proper authorization in the first place? Like, what was their strategy? Why? I mean, obviously it was to make it seem like it was worse than it really was. So they had justification to go in and do different things. But I mean, did they really think that the courts wouldn't intervene? Like, they really thought they had enough people in place that would just allow them to have martial law and just kind of authoritarian, send troops on your own people kind of thing? Like, they really thought they were going to get, like, 100% believed it would happen. Are they that delusional? Or did they think like, well, it might happen. Like, we got a 50-50 shot. Like, I want to know how much they thought it was actually going to happen.
It was Breyer. Justice Breyer.
Okay.
His older brother was on the Supreme Court that just retired.
Okay.
So, yeah, Charles Breyer is the judge. So that makes a lot more sense why you see this decision being as fiery as it was.
Right. I mean, I saw it being blocked when they first announced they were deploying. Like, he just pulled troops and started deploying them with no, like, I was in active duty, I was in the Guard. Like, you just can't do that. That's not how it works. So, like, that's why I wonder, like, what the percentage of how much they thought they'd get away with it. Like, did they believe it was like a 50-50 shot, like 70-30? Like, there's no way they believed they'd 100% get away with it. And if they did, they're even more delusional than I thought.
I think they are delusional, and I think it's beginning to show internally in the Republican Party politics.
Yeah.
There's now a rumor going around like another 20 Republican congressmen are going to or women people are going to retire very shortly before the midterms and before their terms are finished. And following Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's going to be interesting because that's fellow Speaker Jeffries with a pretty large Democratic majority at that point.
I mean, we'll see how many of them get reelected Republican seats, but I think if they're seeing their Republican representatives and senators leaving, and they're seeing the party fall apart
before their terms end.
Right.
They're quitting before they end.
Right.
So
does that reflect their constituents back in their state, or is it just like a selfish thing? They're like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm out.
Yeah. And I know we started talking about the National Guard here, but this also goes back to, legal orders and what happened with the Venezuela thing. And, quite clearly they do not care at this point.
No, I mean, they just seized an oil tanker.
whoop-de-doo, they seized an oil tanker, that feeds a refinery process for factory for how long? They need multiples of those per month
Oh, but
coming
Trump
in.
just they asked Trump like, what happens to oil? He's like, it's ours, I guess now. Like, that's just straight up piracy. Like,
And there's this whole thing about eminent domain and government having to pay fair market value for stuff that they take.
yeah,
You know, uh,
but it's international
yeah,
waters, so
but it's being operated by U.S., but it's being controlled by U.S. laws because it's being overtaken by the U.S. Navy.
yep. Well, we'll see. We'll
So
see what they
yeah,
do.
that's going to be an interesting one in the courts.
Yeah, that'll be for another week. We'll get more details on that
Details
first.
on that, but
So,
yeah, obviously we're beginning to see a theme here. Let's just
yeah,
overload the courts at this point and see what
I,
breaks.
I think
You
the
know?
theme is ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Oh, wait a second. That's how we did business in New York.
Yep. Well, actually,
Oh
that was ask for bankruptcy, not permission. That's
no, that's no. It's like what he did with the White House. Oh, we're not going to touch the East Wing, historical force. Tears it down tonight. Just tears it down without asking for permission first, and then says, "Oopsies." Oh, very New Yorkish buildings tactic. You know what I mean? Can't get the Planning and Zoning Commission to sign off on the actual plans. Okay, we're just going to tear it down and start it, and then when they notice it, we'll just ask for forgiveness.
Yep. We'll say, it just
and
had too much stuff wrong with it. We had to get rid of all of it and start new.
Right. It's like,
Okay.
this building that's been here for how long? And we want to build this. Oh, you're not giving us a demo permits? Oh, it's Friday night. Let's start it up.
Spending all that money. Well,
right. And then
people
Monday
can't
morning
afford
rolls
anything.
Monday morning. No, I'm talking about how, construction, how we probably.
Well, yeah. I'm saying like spending all the money, doing all the, just ripping down a whole building, putting it just meanwhile for a fancy ballroom while people can't afford groceries.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I guess that's, I don't understand how these folks, how the Republican administration in DC doesn't expect whiplash from voters that are just like done.
Well, especially because now he's gone on tour about affordability and prices. It's literally he's going on tour like Taylor Swift style, going and talking about affordability, which is also a Democratic hoax. It's not really real. But and then all he did was he mocked at the first tour. He just mocked affordability. It's like, it's stupid. Like, it's all made up. Blah blah blah. You don't believe it. Essentially,
says the guy that gets rid of the penny.
Right, but like, why? And then he just did his like standard like rambling on campaign speech, not talking about like, you're calling it affordability tour, and then you're making fun of affordability to the people who are struggling right in front of their face.
And then the funniest part about this is he wants things to be affordable. He's admitted that things are not affordable any longer by essentially eliminating the penny, because he basically says nothing's actually worth a penny any longer. So why make it?
And it costs more to make it than it's worth. Because
right.
Affordability.
Right. And I kind of understand where, it makes sense. But if you're going to get rid of the penny, you might as well get rid of the nickel too.
I think we talked about this a little bit last time, actually.
And change the 25-cent piece and just get rid of the 25-cent piece and go to the 50-cent piece, and just eliminate the hundredth place on the pricing tax.
Right.
So this way it'd be $12
just a tenth of a cent. Yeah.
Or $12.90,
right,
or $12.80, or $12 and 0.8 or 0.7.
But that's too close to metric because it's based on tens.
The whole our whole money system is based on tens, which makes and then we have this aversion to metrics in this country. Metrics measuring system.
That's a worm. I won't go down that rabbit hole. I love the metric system from all my science days. I prefer it.
And not to mention the U.S. military has been forced to use the metric standard since the 1970s because of the law that was passed under Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all the military contracts are done in metric.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
All of our
wait a
maps
second.
are kilometers
And
for the
yeah,
distance, like, or
yeah,
kilometers, depending on if you're from the north or the south.
yeah. It's just like
But I mean, I don't know.
I know this. I know this has kind of turned into
Yeah.
Trump's affordability focus, and we turned it into this.
I
But
don't know how we got
think
here from affordability. I really don't.
it started with me ranting about how he eliminated the penny, and then why we eliminate the nickel.
Yep.
But going back to his affordability tour,
Mm-hmm.
and he's mocking people for, what he thinks shouldn't be an issue. I'm like, I keep in mind, this is the man that managed to run casinos into bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean,
that's super impressive.
Especially when the house always wins.
He made the house lose. When does the house?
I want to go to that.
Lose?
Hindsight, I should have went to those casinos. We got a nice payout. Trump's time.
So the house loses, and we hired a guy that managed to make the house lose. Yep. Okay, this makes total sense in my head. And then he's complaining about. Then he's saying there's no affordability issue. Okay, let's stop and think about.
Well, not for regular Americans. I mean, companies are doing great. They're getting all these benefits. They're getting tax breaks. They're buying other companies too. I mean, look at
and trickle down economics doesn't work. Yeah. We've already figured this out. I know we're going to talk about the Warner Brothers and Netflix here in a moment, but I wanted to make one last point about affordability.
Yeah,
everything's turning into subscriptions. Remember recently where BMW wanted to charge you a subscription to use your heated seats in your car?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so the equipment's all there. So they're basically charging you the right to flip a switch in order to turn it on.
Yep.
Everything's in the car.
Yep.
Literally hooked up. And they're just blocking it by a software switch for you not to be able to turn the physical switch on.
Yep.
Okay. I think there's a level of greed of these corporations that are basically about ready to come flying down, that the masses are going to be like, no, and more no. and this goes back to, I think, our previous discussion on, technology from last week about AI and stuff, is that, people want, are afraid of AI taking their jobs and everything. Well, at some level, people need to step up to the plate and say, no, and more no, and say, okay, how does this work if you take all our jobs away, and how are we supposed to survive? It's, we beg for the scraps from the table of the rich,
it's worked for so long, though. It's been such a great system.
Yeah, feudalism was such a great system, by the way.
It might be nice to have some lords and ladies in America again. I don't know.
Didn't we have a full revolution about that? About taxes too. This country has a aversion to taxes because of that. But then I say to people again, people are moving to blue states because the services are better, and they're and they pay something to get it, and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
But if you live in a low tax state, you don't get much for it. Well, that's what you're getting for, not much. I just don't.
It's great.
This is making me really mad.
Well, let's move to something else then. Let's
switch topics here. Yeah, because I'm about to have my rant moment here.
We touched on. We were talking about money, but we touched on the whole Netflix Warner Brothers deal.
Let's bring that up. Let's bring that up for a little bit more detail here.
Yeah.
So, okay, Netflix Warner Brother. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is like, okay.
They're getting a lot of property with it too. Like it's a pretty big deal. It's making me like, do I need to get a Netflix account now?
So here's my thought process on this. Netflix was not doing well. Now they're buying
until K-pop Demon Hunters.
Okay. No, I meant financially. Netflix was having some problems. You know what I mean? In terms of
Hmm.
you know, their viewership and subscriptions were going down.
Well,
So
now
they
it's going up,
obviously
up, up.
up, right. So they're acquiring this media
K-pop
company,
Demon Hunter reference.
Warner Brothers, which is a traditional media company. Okay.
Hmm.
And let's
Yep.
say, so Warner Brothers, they're always kind of paid second fiddle to Disney at some level in the media
Yeah, I
world.
mean, and it's also
Um,
like the DC versus Marvel because they had DC and
right,
Warner Brothers.
right. Um, so, but what Warner Brothers' biggest property asset is probably big is Looney Tunes, really what they're really known for.
Hmm.
Uh, and some of the other things over
I always
more
knew
on
for
Paul.
DC, like watching the animated Batman back in the day.
Oh
Like,
yeah, they if they own DC, yeah,
yeah,
okay, that's. But I
there's a lot of
but
DC property. A lot of it is animated because they were
right,
struggling recently with all the DC, like coming out with the movies on the Marvel level,
right,
but their animated stuff has been on point, always has
right.
been. Uh,
But what's more interesting is
but they're getting stuff
they
like Game of Thrones. They're getting that intellectual
right.
property. They're getting oh shoot, what was the other big one?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a couple that are like, do I have to get Netflix now? Like,
But it's kind of the older stuff that's was
it
more
is, but I
hard.
mean, I'm a big DC. I like DC over Marvel, so for me, like I've always enjoyed having HBO to be able to just watch any of the DC movies that
Oh,
come out
so
and stuff like that.
they're picking up HBO. That's basically what it is.
A good chunk of it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so that's more adult driven content, not necessarily kid driven. Where the money, what I'll say is that's where the money's at. You know,
Yeah.
you know, especially with people having less kids nowadays.
Hmm.
So this might be actually a smart move on their part,
Yeah.
because child entertainment. Okay, let's see. This is where
Most
my
of child
knowledge about,
entertainment is YouTube nowadays.
and
It's
that's a
not
problem when
really
it's
network
well,
television.
no, it's so what you got to understand about child entertainment on YouTube is they can't make ads on it and revenue,
Right.
because of the way the federal law is structured about for privacy point in for people.
Well, certain things, but like if they're watching influencers, they're getting ads when these kids are liking or subscribing or
Right, right.
watching,
But
so they're getting money that way.
if you're under 13, it's a little bit of a different game. Um, because of how
They can't do
the federal.
targeted ads to them, yes. So YouTube
That's the
can't target ads at them, but there
right,
can be ads within the videos that these kids are
right.
watching.
But they can't do the pre-roll ads. That's the
Right.
thing. So
Right.
that's so so and that's where YouTube kind of makes their bread and butter money, you know, on the pre-roll. So
Hmm.
because if it's an ad that, let's say we had a sponsored here, we keep 100% of the money and
Right.
YouTube doesn't get diddly squat,
Right.
right? Or Twitch, right? But if it's that pre-roll ad, that's going 100% right to Twitch or YouTube, unless you're a partner with them
Hmm.
and they give you a portion of it, you know, uh, because they want those creators to stay around.
Sponsored by certain ads, yeah.
Correct. Uh, so you have a lot of folks. So, and this is a lot of inside baseball when it comes to this type of stuff. You know, how ad revenue works and sponsorships. Granted, we're not that big and we don't have any. And personally, I don't know if I really want to get into that line of work. Of
If they send me some free stuff, I'd be down
yeah, even then, it's
to
still like
review it so I can
to
give
re
my honest opinion on the ad.
right, but even so, um, my I'm what you or what the viewers don't know about us
Mm.
is we come from the background of non-commercial radio at WXCI in Danbury, the college
91.7
station,
WXBI.
FM, yeah, and
Your commercial free college radio.
yes,
Throwback.
yes, and so I've always kind of been like sponsorships and ad reads. Yes, I
Mm.
understand the
Yep.
nature of the business, but I'm also been like, is it really worth it, you know, for a small time operation, you know, like ourselves right at the moment, and the amount of work that goes into it, you know.
Right.
Um, versus, just let you know, the logarithm does the work for you and I don't
Mm.
have to worry about it. Um, and that's nothing here or there. But I felt that was kind of worth mentioning with the Warner Brothers
Yeah.
Netflix exposition of Warner Brothers because and Discovery. Oh, they're picking up Discovery properties. Oh, that's
That's
interesting.
what I say. They got a nice little mix of stuff they're getting.
Yeah. I think documentaries are on the uptick right at the moment too. So,
mm, yeah.
and I think people are also looking for a little bit more of escapism from the craziness of the world too at this point.
Yeah.
Um, I also think that uh, this is going to have. Uh, I think the internet streaming business has really disrupted how cable television really works.
Mm.
And I think also too, this is going to be interesting because now Netflix is going to have properties in uh, broadcasting,
Yeah.
which they've never had before. Because Warner Brothers does, I think, like the CW, I think.
Yep. They're big with CW and then HBO, Warner
H,
Brothers.
right, but that's no.
Um,
I'm talking. HBO has always been cable. I'm talking over
yeah,
the
yeah,
air.
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
So over the air is when I say over the air is you literally just stick an antenna on your television, you pick it
Right.
up
Yeah.
over the air. Ironically, with the streaming services taking off the way they did, a lot of people cut the cable and they stuck the antenna back on their televisions.
It's not a bad idea.
So by Netflix going back into the realm of broadcast television, not cable, broadcast,
Right.
I think this is going to be an interesting thing about how streaming services develop. And the only other one that's really kind of got a broadcast arm to them is really the Paramount Network or the Paramount streaming service and Hulu. But what's interesting about Hulu is they've been kind of spun off from NBC now, and with MSN
Fox.
now, it's Fox.
Yeah. Peacock is NBC.
NBC. Okay, so
Yeah.
but Fox so you're beginning to see this.
But they're also Hulu was bought by Disney, and Disney has ABC, so they've got the ABC Fox thing going on right there with
right.
Hulu and Disney.
Right, so you're beginning to see a lot of things
Crossing
involving in the streaming world, where all of a sudden broadcast television is becoming a little bit more of a game player in the industry than most people are realizing, which means we're going to have to think about the FCC. FCC has control over the airwaves and who has licenses to broadcast.
Yep.
Then you have the FCC also controlling about how broadband standards are actually defined for internet. And this actually kind of goes back, and I know we're talking a long, lengthy time here, but it kind of goes back to the Rural Electrification Project of 1938. Oh my gosh, I'm bringing up
going real back. All right.
Oh yeah, we're going back to the Great Depression, folks. Here, because
what are you saying? We're going to have another one? Is that what you're saying? No,
no. But the broadband expansion in the country is based on the Rural Electrification Project in 1938, the Great Depression program. And basically, the FCC is in charge of overseeing broadband expansion, like the Rural Electrification projects in 1938. But it's been a little bit more corrupt lately, which means
a little
bit, how they define
broadband barely
is
noticeable
and stuff, right?
Barely,
but that's the reason why you're seeing such a discrepancy, and people are still using 56K modems in this country to access the internet over telephone lines, because they have a better stable telephone line connection than they do for DSL. So that's actually better and easier for them to dial up.
Yeah. That's how it was when I lived in New Hampshire. It was easier for me to run off the phone line than to get internet. And then even like where there's some housing still up there that it's like HUD government housing that's just old and they don't want to update it. And it still has the old, you can only use like the old phone lines to get internet. They won't let you upgrade.
Right. So
these people are just stuck with this old, slow, while the world's just like, zoom, leaving them behind.
And then worst part about it is they're basically stuck in a cellular dead zone, so you can't
Yep.
even get
Like
5G
4G,
or
5G.
4
Yeah.
or 4G LTE. You're still stuck on 4G or 3G,
Mhm.
and they are slowly turning off 2G and 2G and 3G now because it's not being supported by most phones and cellular networks. So, and I know this is just completely turned into a topic of the internal workings about
We definitely went off the
spectrum and
rails, but I'm okay with
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But this is what the real thing I think that the Netflix Warner Brothers acquisition brings up is
Nice callback.
that we're thinking about. I think that this is a power move by Netflix to try to get ahead of where things are going, and Warner Brothers being the last kind of company, flying out there without too much um, exposure, network television wise, but they do have some network properties,
Yeah.
like CW and stuff like that. I think that's where, and you kind of look at where some of these other legacy companies, media companies are struggling. If they have now brought in the internal resources about how to deal with broadcast television and how to get some of that, more of those properties brought in, then I think the game has changed.
Yeah.
But it depends on what Netflix wants to do with it, you know. But I know there's another topic we want to talk about, and I know it's about technology. Let's go talk about your hamburger, Mickey D's.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about AI a little bit earlier, so
well,
McDonald's. Yeah.
this is kind of going to go around the legal technical hole again.
We'll try not to go too far down. We'll try to keep it a little on
but
focus. We got this.
On focus, but I guess Mickey D's has decided to go down the AI hiring hole, and
it's going well, very, very well.
Yeah, how well, Jeremy?
So they're using this AI. McHire is their platform. For about 90% of their okay, let me restart. So they have this new AI program called, and they're calling it McHire, and they've had some issues. They outsourced it to a vendor, was it Paradox.ai, which has been having some poor security control issues, like letting people like use default passwords or ones like 1234556 for all the sensitive data that these people are collecting from potential employees. It's just super easy to just go ahead and get that information. So, but it's being used for like 90% of these franchisees, and there's like, where's the accountability? Does it rely on McDonald's because they hired this company? It doesn't rely on the company that they hired because they didn't set it up. Like, they're gonna keep trying to pass the buck.
A good lawyer will say it's all of them. It's all of them.
Right.
Okay. But here's my thought on it. You're disabled, right?
Yeah.
I'm disabled. Darnell's disabled, even though he's not here. A lot of people have disabilities. And so they're using this to review resumes and stuff like that and capture data.
Yeah.
Oh, there's been court cases in the past that have shown that these AIs that review resumes and stuff will actually discriminate people with disabilities out of the process without actually realizing what they're doing.
Oopsie.
It's really hard to prove.
Yeah.
But they've been caught before.
I mean, we don't know if that one's happening here, but we do know that we can access all this information. So I mean, it probably is going to come out.
So let me put it this way. The program is allowing you to use the default passwords and simple passwords.
Yep.
You think they spent any time preventing that problem?
I mean, probably not. Probably not.
Logical conclusion here, okay? Which I know this is kind of like hard for, and I know this is not exactly what you were thinking about when you found this topic, but this has always been on my front of mind when I hear things like this. It's like, okay, what are the other implications of this has gone wrong? You know, and I just like, so okay, now you also have a problem with probably with HIPAA, because if the person discloses that they have a disability and it's a
Yeah.
medical thing, now you're reviewing,
Medical
revealing
information
their,
can be put. Yep.
their
Not securing their medical information in
medical
files.
information.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this is a major screw up.
They might be McFucked. No.
Yeah, this is actually, it's probably almost worse than the Jack in a Box thing.
Okay.
Okay. Remember the Jack in a Box thing before I was born? About this, where it basically folded under the chain because of salmonella in the meat and killed 3 people, I think it was, or something like that. Yeah. It's almost as bad as that, as far as I'm concerned.
We'll see. I mean, it's probably going to get worse as more stuff comes out about it. Because, like you're saying, if they're not even changing passwords, what else are they just glossing over with this hire program with the AI?
Yeah, so, if I was a good lawyer, I would be asking some questions about that. If I was a lawyer, had a client, and I think this also probably ties in a little bit to our next topic. You want to take a guess of what I'm thinking for the next topic is?
Oh boy! I mean, if we're talking about lawyers, probably
Gronk.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's it. We are talking about privacy and sharing. That's a nice, yeah.
So, Jeremy, why don't you tell us about what Mr. Gronk did?
I mean, because I just got a new car that has that. So, basically, their AI Grok, the people that designed it, the AI, they had put in a share button so you could share your chats from that you're having with this AI bot, right? No big deal. You want to share something with a friend, good idea, right? The problem is
thinking this is terrible.
Well, I mean, like if I do like ask it something really cool and it came a fun answer, I want to share it with my friend, like, oh, look what I found out about this, or blah, blah, blah. Easy instead of having to copy paste, whatever.
So,
but here's what happened.
So my question would be then: is Jeremy smart for sharing?
See, here's the thing. For their share button, which you would share and then like select your friends, what happened is the programmers kind of made it a share to everyone in the world button. So when you click it, it kind of just puts it on public web pages. So like over 300,000 personal chat transcripts were just shared with everyone because they wanted to share it with their friends or to share it with a coworker or whatever happened. Whenever they clicked that share button, it was just, all right, you want to share it, then everyone can look at it. I mean, that's bad.
That's so you could share your social security number through this app, I assume.
I mean, well, if you were chatting with it and you gave it personal information or private information and you hit share, it would post it publicly to these web pages.
That's almost as bad as the McDonald one.
It might be. It's hard. It's hard to say.
We can't make this stuff up any longer. I don't know if I'm watching Saturday Night Live now.
Have to make it up any longer.
It kind of struck me the other night. I was watching Saturday Night Live, the cold opening. I couldn't tell if it was actually a real press conference or just Saturday Night Live at one point. You know, that's how bad it is in this country right now in terms of how the government's acting and how some of these companies are acting. You don't know if you're actually watching the real thing or a skit on comedy television.
Well, if it's SNL, it's a comedy, but once you realize it's real life, then it becomes a tragedy. That's
but you can't tell the difference.
I know. I love it.
It's like if I watched the Late Show with Stephen Colbert or Seth Meyers or something like that. I don't know. They do a pretty good job of telling the actual news, and they don't have to write the jokes any longer.
I know, they just report, and it's just hilarious. Yep.
Yeah.
Just
So
stop for laughter. Just pause for laughter. That's all they really got to do now. They just say what the president said or what some politician said, and they just pause for laughter. And
it's
that's
just
they don't even have to write.
sad.
They don't
It's
have to worry
just
about AI taking their
sad.
jobs because it's
It's well, AI doesn't need to do their jobs
uh,
anyway because their jobs are already being done for them by the people that actually run the place.
it's beautiful.
Are we
Beautiful.
having the inmates
See,
running the
so
same
the Trump
asylum yet?
administration is saving jobs. It's
No. Remember, Stephen Colbert's been canceled.
I tried to give him a little bit of help. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just. I think we're going to be going down the road here. We're getting kind of a
Yeah.
little bit towards the end here, but I think something I wanted to really kind of mention for
Before we
everybody
do
out
our
there,
award. Yeah.
yeah, is for me personally this week. I'm watching more and more people drive recklessly out there. It's gotten to the point now where I saw a video within the last couple of weeks. I think it was a township out in Pennsylvania. Not door, red light camera on a school bus in front of the
Okay.
police station, had the stop sign out. You want to take a guess how many cars ran it?
6.
3, right in front of the police station.
Okay.
It's a small town.
Wow.
Okay. The checks in the mail, the fines are in the mail, by the way, from what I understood. But I think that's kind of a indication about where people have gone.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, live streams of court hearings, for criminal places in like Michigan and stuff where they stream it, and people are just making bad decisions, and then sometimes they make bad decisions and they can recover for it, and then other times they're just making bad decisions on top of bad decisions.
Yeah.
And I wonder to myself, what is this world? I don't want to say coming to, but it's like the education teaching people how to handle their lives is almost not there.
It's almost like they're not being taught any of the normal social contracts that we have in society. Like there's certain social contracts that we all agree to, like obeying traffic laws or doing this, or you know what I mean? Like, but these people are just like, I'm just gonna do what I want.
It's like this. I see people running stop signs now at full speed ahead.
Yeah.
There's a reason why there's a stop sign there.
I've done it once in a while by like just not like zoned out. Like I don't see the stop sign. I'm like, oh, I try to hit the brakes or,
right.
Luckily no one's coming, but
But
when you have these people that just purposely fly through stuff,
like red lights, or you're making a right on red at a stoplight.
You're supposed to stop first.
You're supposed to come to a full incomplete stop.
Yep.
Look, then proceed.
Yep.
We're not even coming to the rolling California stop now at this point. They're just going full bore through it.
Just right through.
And I know that's kind of
I almost got hit on the road the other day from someone coming off of a side road that they had to yield to merge in, and he just went right out in front of me. And I mean,
it doesn't
luckily
matter.
I was able to swerve around him, but
it doesn't matter. It used to be just the luxury cars that would do that occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Now it doesn't matter what type of car it is, and I bring this up as, and I think this is kind of a reflection. The driving is a reflection of the society that we're currently in, and is a reflection of our politics. And you can almost see this like this type of attitude and behavior in the current administration. Don't care, gonna do what we want, screw everybody else.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a really key thing I want people to take away from this podcast this week, is that a lot of this is just people not caring and just keep pushing ahead.
They just don't care about how they affect others at all.
Right. Yep. And so as we're coming up on the Christmas season and holidays and winter holidays, I would like to urge our viewers to actually take some time and reflect on how their actions affect other people, and maybe think about that. I'm not saying you have to do everything to,
Hmm.
uh, not do anything for yourself, but take a little bit of time and think about how one might want to help out your fellow human in your
It's
community.
that's the word right there, community. We've lost it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
dwindling
like
in this country. It's
it's
starting to
like
come back a little bit, I've noticed, but
it's like
we
this.
walked away from community pretty
It's
hard
like
over the
this.
last few years.
It's like this. They're struggling to get. There's a volunteer firefighter crisis in Connecticut.
Yeah.
If you are able bodied and you can do it, and time wise, yeah, you probably should think about doing it. Um, even if you're not in Connecticut, it's something that you really should consider doing. If it's not volunteer firefighting, it's something else. Because the old saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child,
Mm.
not two parents. And I think that's really a key thing. Now, I know I've said this before, but Jeremy, I think we know what time it is.
Yep. Yep. Time
Um,
for our award.
yes. Oh, there it is. And so, Jeremy, what are the candidates for the What Were You Thinking Award goes to this week?
All right. So we got two. We talked about one earlier with Grok.
Yeah,
I mean that's
pretty bad.
it's pretty bad. I mean we touched on it before, like these they basically designed it so it's not like a single bug. It's just basically incompetence.
Right.
They're not keeping the privacy for these people's chats.
Yeah.
And the irony is it's an AI company. It's supposed to be like the cutting edge of technology, and they couldn't even like pass a security test. Like
And then I think I'll say McDonald's is right in there with their hiring
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a
But,
both like
yeah,
company AI right now is kind of a
company. Yeah, the people that are actually saying, "Oh, this is a great thing."
yeah.
And then there was another thing that you had mentioned that should be considered.
Yeah, and like a nice little mention. Genesis Healthcare, uh, their
Oh,
leadership is currently, I mean, they've got millions that they need to pay out to injured or dead residents, and they're just going to use bankruptcy so that they don't have to. I don't know if that's like it.
that's a smart move,
It
from a,
malicious, but smart.
but smart. So, oh no, they actually may be actually thinking.
Oh, they were thinking
Oh
about
yeah,
themselves. Yeah.
about themselves, and they actually this might be more smarter than they actually realize, because they don't have the money. They're not going to pay it. They're probably saving a lot of people headaches. Now, granted, dead people don't care about money
I mean, their
because
spouses
they're
might.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I
But
mean, just
for
and
the
while
cold,
these healthcare companies are asking for subsidies and wanting all this stuff, and like, yeah, we're just going to file bankruptcy.
and not to
We don't have to
mention,
pay.
yeah,
Mm,
not to mention that the Affordable Care Act tax credits have not been extended yet, and we're now
yep.
sitting at December 11th. Tick
Oh,
tick tick
well,
tick
they're
tick
gonna
tick tick
vote on
tick
it
tick.
though, and not pass it, but they're gonna vote on it.
From what I understand, it may pass.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people are getting a lot of angry phone calls.
Well, the Republicans are like, oh, we'll give your kid $1,000 when they're born, and
Yeah,
we'll do like I forget was one other thing. There are a couple other things they're doing. They're not actually lowering the cost.
no, 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 no,
And
no,
that's their plan.
right. So I think a lot of people are going like, no.
Yeah, they're
So
like, what are you going to do about my premiums going up 100%?
yeah, so I would say the What Were You Thinking award
Yeah,
definitely goes to gut reaction. It's got to be Gronk.
yeah. I was gonna say AI. I was healthcare AI, but it's the AI companies. Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely the
you can't
people that
claim
are
to
running
be
these
like
AI companies.
we're gonna
Definitely,
solve all your problems in the company, but we're gonna have security issues left and right, and not really protect any privacy, and probably cause you lots of lawsuits. but it'll save you some money in the short term until you get sued.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
and the reason why I'm saying that is because I think Genesis Healthcare, and there's some of these people are dead already, so what does it really matter? But I hate to say it, these AI companies are definitely winning the "What Were You Thinking" award,
Yeah.
because they're supposed to be thinking and they're not.
Right. That's the whole
Artificial
thing.
intelligence.
It's supposed to
No.
be like
Yeah.
making technology think for us so we don't have to, but it's not doing
Right.
a very good job.
No, it's not. It's not. And you know, until I don't know what we're going to have to. Are we AI or are we not AI? Is the better question.
Are you
This
AI?
show. Are you AI? But
May never know.
just remember, folks, remember to comment, like, and subscribe down below. It does help us, sort of, even though we trashed
It does. It does.
ads
Yeah.
and stuff on this show already today.
Yep.
but remember, we come from a non-commercial background.
Yep. Yep.
But any final words of wisdom, Jeremy?
Oof. Come to a complete stop at a red light before you turn right.
That's a good one.
Yep.
And Darnell, get your butt here. If you've been with us for a while, we will explain that in a short video right now. Darnell came up with this show, got us dragged into it, and who's missing? Yeah. Yeah. So, Jeremy, any final words of wisdom? I'm all set. So.
Yeah, no, it's just like I said, like and subscribe. Thanks for guys watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep, next week.